Hello. Hopefully things are working. I tried to do like a scheduled stream this time, whereas normally I just like go live. So yeah, I don't know if you all got to see the stream in your YouTube feeds before I went live or not, and I don't know if that was useful, I'll do it again, but if not, yeah. Dylan, nice to have you here. You as well, Chris, nice to have you joining. Always see you in the Future Belongs to Creators streams. Jason, Nathan, C. Steele, Irfan, nice to have you all here. We're going to do some Webflow building today. Getting started on a brand new page, which I'm very excited about. Just let me do my regular, like, getting set up. I have that countdown thing that plays at the start of my stream. And it's always my, like, I've got 2.5 minutes to get everything ready on my screen that I'm going to need for the stream. And I never quite make it in time. Yeah. Cool. I'm glad that the schedule was helpful. I'll try and do that again in the future. I may be streaming a little bit earlier than I would have liked today, but I got some meetings starting from 4 p.m. my time. And it's 1 o'clock right now. So yeah, was wanting to make sure that I got stuff in. Okay. Let's get things set up. I've had a busy morning, y'all. How's your morning been? I guess for some of you, your morning is literally just starting, right? And yeah, like I've said before, if you haven't joined one of these streams before, this is a co-working stream, so I'm playing these like chill vibes in the background, and the idea is that you work on your thing, I'm gonna work on my thing. I'll like talk you through stuff as I go, but yeah, that's the general plan. 7 a.m. for Chris and Jason. That is early as fuck. Dylan ordered some new PC parts. Nice. I'm also trying something different with the stream today. Yeah, with the stream today, I set it to a low latency, I think is the one. So that means that we should have the chat and I should be seeing your chat more in real time, basically. Got a coffee. Ah, that makes sense. Yes, two kids under 5. No wonder you wake up early. Nice to have. Nathan says I don't believe in 7 a.m. as a designer is against my religion. I mean, I kind of agree, Nathan. I tend to not get up until like 8:30 these days at the earliest. Hey, Ryan. Hi, Ankit. Nikolai. Nice to have you all here. 3 p.m. for you? Oh, nice. So you must be... Yeah, you're further ahead in your day than I am. It's 1 p.m. here. All right, concentrate. Get stuff up on screen. I really do want to try and get as far as I can as possible today with this. Yeah, because there's just a lot to do. Oh shoot, I have like Premiere open. I was actually editing a video myself this morning, which I never normally do these days, but both my editors were too busy to fit it in, so dems the breaks. Okay, finally ready, I'm pretty sure, to switch over. Boom. We should be seeing, be sharing my screen now, I hope, if all is working correctly. Yep. Great to build, you've been in the weeds today, nice. How many hours do I work, Ankit? I would say I probably wouldn't. I don't think I work more than 40 hours at ConvertKit. Maybe a little more some weeks, but I work a lot because I also have my side hustles. So yeah. Anyway, this is what we're building today. You saw me start the design of it on a previous stream, and I'm really, really happy with how it's turned out for like a quick build, you know, a quick design, sorry, I mean. Yeah, just really had to time box this thing, but we've got lots of hand-drawn touches and things, and I think it's gonna turn out really nice. Someone said on Twitter that they saw the design and were like, this makes me want to come to this conference, even though I'm not part of the creator community. So, you know, that's the goal. We want to convince you to come to the conference. So yeah, we'll just get right into it. I'm glad you like the duotone. So I always start with a new build. Actually, I just realized that I have this page here that I think... When did I do this? I might have done this on a past stream, you know. Just, I wanted to see, okay, could I get this set up? This was me like testing, could we use Webflow for it? So all of this stuff is actually pretty useful, but I am going to delete essentially everything on this homepage, and we're going to start from scratch with it, because it is, yeah, not... actually, maybe I could have kept some of this stuff. It's easier if I just start from scratch. Okay. So what I always do, we'll make a new page. It's going to be our style guide page. This is where I sort of just start to set everything up. And this one never gets actually published. It's just purely for the style guide. Jason's going to be at the conference. Nice. I think that I will be there too, if all, like, you know, I mean, for all of us, COVID aside, if everything's going okay. Alright, so this is my color palette. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up my colors. Tell me if anything's off with like the audio levels and things. I did a bit of tweaking, so it might be slightly different than usual. Ryan, you are here so that you can copy the buy URL. I should, I'll ask the team what that is and if I can share it, because I know right now they're selling tickets to past attendees. Pink, that's weird. That should be a pale yellow, like cream. Cool, that's my color palette. Let me just, audio sounds way better compared to last time. Okay. I don't know why that would be, but that's good. What's better about it? Is it a little louder? I'm going to message in the ConvertKit Slack on my laptop that I have in front of me. Where's the right channel? Talk amongst yourselves while I do this. I honestly don't know if we're going to get an answer in time to that, I'm afraid, Ryan, because it's very, very early in the US, but yeah. Okay. Oh, that's something I never figured out. Is... And this should be a draft page, yep. Avenir. Can I use... Avenir on the page? I'm not sure if we at ConvertKit have the like licensing right to do that at the moment, but I think someone said it was Proxima Nova. Corey, stop trolling. No one block Corey. He's just being himself, aren't you, Corey? Corey, I'm going to make you a moderator just because you were on Twitch and it was helpful at times, so no pressure. I mean, yeah, this looks similar enough that I think we'll do this. How do I add a Google font to Webflow again? Let me go remember. Yes, you have the wrench. Also, people, okay, so something that was cool over on Twitch is Twitch had subscriptions where you could get like a little badge, and I had my like little broken heart logo that's up in the corner. Wait, is it this side? Of my video screen. I set that up on YouTube memberships as well. So you can join my YouTube channel as a member, which is kind of like a paid subscription on Twitch. And I think you should get that next to your name. Yeah, It's just a little way to support the channel and these streams if you want to see more of them. Fonts, okay, concentrating. Why is it not in here? I thought it was a Google font. Is it not a Google font? Oh, it's another Adobe font. Why did I not notice that? Montserrat. Okay. Let's use it for now, and then oh, does it come built in? Does it? Do I can stop talking, please. Okay, well, Modev, if you literally want a stream with no talking, then maybe you should just go find like a nice little lo-fi stream, like video to watch, because I will be talking at times. That is kind of the point. Okay, we'll just do this. Oh, fuck. And I've already done the thing in Webflow where I forget to click all headings. Does this mean I don't stream on Twitch anymore? I'm preferring YouTube at the moment, honestly, but I will stream on Twitch for games still if I ever want to stream a game. Because I don't want to like put gaming content onto my design YouTube channel. But yeah, this feels like it makes sense for me to do design stuff over here, right? So right now I'm styling all of the headings. Oops. Oh, and the color as well should be actually this color. Yeah, I would say TrackLow only. Subscribe, like follow me on both, but I'll also always tweet when I'm gonna go live with stuff. But yeah, for now, I think that YouTube is gonna be the place to be for design streams like this, if that's what you're interested in. Fucking did it again, didn't I? All H3s are going to be Montserrat bold. I know I'm going to need to change the height as well. Actually, I might just make them while we're here. Did you go which Pantone I'm using? I'm not using Pantones. And then we've got Open Sans. Did I do... Yep, was the same color. Cool. And then let's do... Definitely not blue, huh? I think it's slight, yeah, letter spacing. Okay, and I've also already exported a lot of, excuse me, video of myself. A lot of assets here. When Corey adds these to our marketing site, he does something really cool where they like build in and like is actually the grayscale font is embedded, but I'm just going to do the rest in SVG, I think, because easier. There's a lot of us here today. I was not paying attention to the chat while I was doing that. Do I show my design in awards? No, I've never submitted a design to something like that. I just think that my designs are often just a little too practical. And award stuff is, I don't know, just a lot more creative, I guess. And I always forget what the fuck setting I put on my container. So now is when I go out to a different Webflow project and I look at my past work. Oh, hey, thanks, Asaro. I don't know what currency that is. Whereabouts are you based? I think so, Nathan. Yeah. I think that Webflow themselves have a lot of like training and stuff that you could point a client to. What's the playlist I'm using? Is this one here on my Epidemic Sound. I share it every now and then. Let me try drop it in the chat. There we go. That is the playlist. I think you should be able to play it. Oh, cool. Love that you're tuning in from all the way over in Nigeria. 1200 pixels. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. And I do normally use the actual container setting for it. This is something I always forget. I honestly have not heard about what the updates were at No Code Conf, but we are not thinking of switching at ConvertKit. I'd be interested to see what they are, but that hasn't been something that's crossed our minds, to be honest. Oh, turns out past me already set it up. Great. I'm gonna get rid of this for now. Okay. Let's just work our way through this. How far do you think we can get in the next, I don't know, 2 hours? That's right, I should change the body. Nah, we'll just do it here. Depends how much you read the chat, yeah. Good point. Bye, Osaro. We'll see you in the replay. Thanks for your little tip. Yeah, Nikolai, give us the lowdown. What happened at No Code Conf? And exactly, Chris. I've learned the hard way many, many a time that doing the setup stuff now will pay off in future. Oh man, why did I do that? I moved it off the screen. Okay, so I did use Open Sans there. I thought I would have used Montserrat, to be honest. Okay, well, that's fine then. Capitalize. Cream. Do you like this big note that I left for myself? Hey, Duty. Nice to see you here. We're gonna make this flex. Oh, I haven't added in any of my images yet. Okay, let's go do that. I think all of this stuff should just be dragged over. No, some of this is seeming... Yep. Can you be shrunk a little more? Nope. Might have to look into that. Or whatever. We're just gonna add them all for now. Kia ora, Jamie. So the major updates are user profiles in Webflow with billing, updated database, automations. Ooh, automations, that's cool. And developer tools and teams. Cool, I'll definitely check that out. Do you have... Why doesn't that look centered? You know what I mean? Whatever. That's the kind of detail that I shouldn't be getting into right now. Ah, this bit here you're talking about, Nikolai? Nice. What does that mean? Okay, cool. Wait, no, I don't want to add that right now. Logo. Then what are you meant to be? Oh, interesting. Maybe you're an H4 that I didn't properly plan for? What's the... I've forgotten what the short key is to add something. Is it going to tell me? There's like a short key to bring up. Whoa, not that. Ah! There we go. Someone remind me what it is. Thanks, Corey. No worries, I'm sure we'll be fine. I didn't mean to put pressure on you by making you a moderator. All right, let's style this. Yeah, I think semi-bold actually looks better. We'll see if that turns out to be the same case for other headings. Where am I from? I'm from New Zealand, then also lived in England, and now I live in Spain. Ooh, I forgot to set up my button styles. Let's do that on the style guide page too. Okay, so on a button, my text is capitalized. $18, yep, okay. Much more padding though. $18, $18, $38, $38. Oops. And 8. Then we'll have button red will be this guy. What other buttons do I have? Just this one, yep. Cool. Command K. That's it. Thank you so much, Chris. That was bothering me. It's been a while since I built something. Yeah, that's much nicer. By creating the style guide with typography. The typography styling is global. But the rest, and like I could go and use it as a sticker sheet to copy and paste the buttons, for example, but I just remember what classes I use, essentially. Do some now, Peter. Work alongside us. I don't quite know the best way to put this in here, to be honest. Maybe with a span around this guy. But I also don't think that's a now problem to solve. I do need to get in a new div for the... Ooh, but I want it to be outside of the container, didn't I? I'm not quite sure how I want to do this stuff in the background, or like what the best way is to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be something to do with absolute positioning, isn't it? Let's try it. Let's give it a chance, shall we? Ooh, and I didn't even think about that. Like, should I be placing these images manually, or should I have actually just exported one image with them all. That might be a lot smarter. Why did I not think of that? I'm gonna try that. Because this site is one that honestly I'm not future-proofing a lot because, yeah, the plan is eventually to have this built as part of the main ConvertKit site. But yeah, for now, we just need to be able to get something up and running. Here comes the lovely hopeful song. On mobile? I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. Whenever I know it's a site I'm building myself in Webflow, it basically just mobile lives in my head until, yeah, we get to it. But I'll probably swap out the image on mobile. Parallax would be really cool for background images, wouldn't it? Maybe I should do them separately. Let's try do it separately. Let's just try, shall we? Where are they all? This one. Yep. And then I feel like I'm already making this more complicated for myself than it really needs to be. Where's the second one? This one. Jason, I hope that watching the site come together is actually making you more excited for the thing that you've already put money towards. Which way does that one go? Okay, yeah. Yeah, separate will be cool because I can have them do something, can't I? Which would be nice. But I probably want to arrange them like this. Yep. Yeah, Chris, I agree. And especially with Webflow. I mean, Webflow is desktop first. That's the way the code flows. So I think I tend to design Webflow that way as well because of it. I completely understand and appreciate the reasons for mobile first though. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so does this have to be absolute? Yep. And then this container has to be relative. Oh, okay. So now we can position these images within it. And all of these should have absolute positioning as well, right? Yeah, I hope so too, Jason. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's not worked as intended, has it? Should this be relative? Yeah, maybe that's what it should be. Okay, and so then we want this to be... What do we want it to be? And does this need to be anything? Yeah, it does. Wait, where did you go? Is that because I haven't given a height to this content? I don't know. Where are you? Hi, Jay. Okay, why can't I get this to move down? Okay, pixel-wise it does. Interesting. I'll probably discover a better way to arrange these later, but for now, this is fine. Maybe that's the percent you were talking about. Yeah, that makes sense. How much space in between here? About 60. I think that, yeah, I'll definitely have to come back to these images. I know that everything's going to fuck up when I start changing the screen size, but that's okay for now. Yeah, how would I get like this container that this is in? Maybe this needs to be static. Or maybe I need to put it all in a container? Yeah, because essentially when I add another div block, I want it to... Yeah, there we go. I want it to do that. Exactly. VW work in absolute? I don't know. Good question. Unsure. for this bit here. Probably get a grid going, I guess, would be good. And I think if I have, how many columns will I need? Does it need to be a 12 column grid? Probably. Let's just do that. How wide is these margins? 30. Oops. Okay. Nice, Matthias. I hope you don't get confused hearing me talk about a setting and then, I don't know, accidentally click it yourself or something. Okay. So we want this to span 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. And then was this large? Yep. So then this is large body. Let's copy and paste this in. Ooh, how's that going, Chris? That whole Webflow to Squarespace thing. I've never tried doing that. Okay, and then we'll have, ooh, of course I had to do something complicated for this. Able to turn Webflow projects into WordPress? No, really. I've done it before where I've exported the code from Webflow, because you can, somewhere, I'm not sure where, is it here? Ah. Here? Yeah, export code. You can export the code if you want, and I've set it up on a WordPress page, but yeah, it's not ideal. I would not recommend. I keep forgetting to use, what did you say it was? It was Command K, right? Yep. Add a new div. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it should span 5 to 12. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Why is it doing that? That's weird. I'm confused. What does this mean? Oh, I need to add one more. There we go. Now it's an official column? Why is it doing that? That's so weird. I don't know. Is it centered? It looks like it's centered. I don't know. Whatever, let's just keep going. Okay, so in here I'm gonna have to add a lightbox. Where is that? Here. Because I've learned in the past that this is the best way to do this sort of thing. Why are you being weird? Is it because of the gaps that I've put between columns? Like, is there a minimum that the rows themselves have to be? I think that's a UI thing. I don't know. And we can put this little guy in its own div, I think. Oh, it looks like the text didn't export with it. Oh, no, it should have. That's weird. Let's try again. Do not get Corey started on WordPress. I'm saying this far too late. He's already well started. This should be across 3 columns. Well, let's do 4. Not that, please. There we go. Add some negative margin. Ooh, is it gonna allow that? Yep, but on this side. Do I gotta do some sort of relative positioning here too? Why is my usual margin trick not working? Okay, so it is for the top. Jason, my site also, yeah, have not worked on my personal site for a long time. One, two, three, okay, how do I do this one, do you think? I think this might be this in the grid. And then I don't think this guy can be in the grid because I want it to bleed off too much. And I can't work out why this isn't letting me do some sort of negative margin. Oh, it is now. But it's just making it bigger. That's weird. I guess it's not weird. Okay, yeah, well, that'll work. Thanks, Corey. Mo, yeah, I know you weren't meaning to offend, but I don't really take that as a compliment. Yeah, Jason, for you it's different, right? Because your website is a big part of your business, I'm assuming, you know? Like it's a way that clients find you. So hiring someone to help with that seems like it would be a good use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we're going to do some divs within a div here. I still need to make a video about like how I'm thinking in boxes right now, you know, like this is a box, this is one box, this is another box with these two bits together. I think so, Corey? Unsure. Gabriel, I just use the default that it comes with. I might end up adding an extra one for to deal with these images up the top though, not sure. Okay, so within this we have an image. And then we'll have another div. I believe this is an H3. Ooh. Heading pink. And this should be, oh, I added a 16 pixels. Interesting. Okay, well, now we'll make a small body then. The one thing, well, there's many things that I wish Webflow could do, but utility classes would be a huge help, that's for sure. Let's replace this content. One day you get me thinking in room. One day, I just can't get my head around it, honestly. Maybe as part of our design system update, Corey. Oh no, everyone's asking me about the no-code conf yesterday, and now I have to admit I didn't watch a single thing from it. Wait, why can't I? What's happened? Why can't I click on something? That's weird. Corey, I don't want to talk about REMs on the weekend. You can create utility classes, but they don't work the same as like a proper utility class would work. Because they all chain together, if that makes sense. Okay, fine, a weekday. Do you think it's required to know how to do HTML layouting and CSS and use Webflow? I think you would struggle to create quality sites in Webflow without understanding at least like the basics of HTML and CSS. But it's also a great way for you to learn those basics, if that makes sense. Like you'll probably find that from using Webflow, you understand more about those things. Oh, okay. I should make this span across 2 rows, because then we'll have our image. Ah, and I forgot to select for this as well that the image is high DPI. So this we will have go. Oh, well, first of all, can you please get into the grid? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. 7 columns. And do I need to put a negative Z index on it? Okay, well, that seemed to work. Stephen calling out Corey. Ugh, why is it doing this? Not a fan. Why is it doing that? Okay. Yeah, it's just something weird to do with the UI of the grid, I think. Because then it all like gets smaller when I go in there. I think my space between these points is a little too big. Let's shrink you. Cool. Okay, moving on. Next section. Oops. Rename you. I think that we might be able to get Alright, you two. I think I'm going to get like a full layout at least in today, like the basics. That seems like a good thing to aim for. Let's try, huh? Let's try. Okay. So for this, I need to add. Do I do it as an image or do I do it as an SVG? I'm going to do it as an image. How tall is this? 69 pixels. Nice. So if we add what I'm trying to do is have this top part here, see how it's like a uneven shape? I think what I'm gonna do is make the top of this 70 pixels. I don't know, Jonathan. I think it depends on what you share with them, and if you transfer the ownership of the site, they see all this, or if you send them an editing link. Eric, that sounds very smart and not like something that I have done. Okay. What is happening? No worries, Jamie. Oh, what I'm assuming you're from New Zealand. Given the Māori phrases you're throwing out, which I love. Yeah, it'll be live on the channel afterwards for you to watch later if you so choose. I should probably actually make this a background where it's just the navy instead of the pink. I don't know. I don't think that's important for now. Let's just keep going. For this, I'm just gonna do a heading with a max width. Ooh, but I want you to be centered, please. Also, clearly this is too small. Right. Oh, okay. I think I'm seeing what's happening here. Montserrat is a much larger font than the Avenir that I have in my design. I don't know why I didn't think about that possibly being the case. Hey Ika, welcome, welcome. I don't have a Webflow 101 tutorial in Disajib. That is something that I've been meaning to make. But yeah, it's one of those things that's like been on my list for ages and I haven't gotten to it. Ah, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do this as a grid. I'm gonna have 5 maybe could do it. How does Webflow handle things like on-page site SEO? Yeah. That stuff all happens in here. You've got your SEO settings, and you can also add in custom code. So if you like get much fancier with SEO, you can put stuff in there. Oh, I forgot a container in here. That makes more sense. And then we'll put ooh, I just remembered I forgot something above. There is a little call out here too that I need to add in. So that would go across 3 columns. Okay, let's add you in. There we go. And you need to be 3 columns wide. But we need you on row. What row is this? 3, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's annoying how grid, like, just, yeah, really goes all over the place. And then we'll lift you up here. And we'll do probably do a Z index on this because I'm going to need to put a play button on here too. I was avoiding doing that right now. Let's see. Okay, so clearly I need to maybe put a bottom margin on this. That could help. Make sure that this is taking up the space we want it to take up. Yeah, it's okay. We'll get to the details in the details. Okay, and then here, since past me decided to do a little bit of setting up with the what you might call it, the CMS, we can use this. So let's add a collection list. We'll pull from speakers. And I want to show speakers where. Do I have conference year? Yep. Conference year equals 2022. Okay, so now I need to go add one. So that we have something to look at. (2022) conference. Descriptor line. And I think I made a export of a photo here somewhere. Yeah, you're right, Stephen. We don't appreciate that enough, do we? Thanks for joining us, Jason. Have a good day with your fam. Hello, Abdul. What program do you use to make style sheets? I don't know quite what you mean, Eric. Are you asking... Right now the tools I'm using are Figma and Webflow, but I don't use like a tool to make style sheets specifically, if that makes sense. I'm either designing or I'm building. And can I duplicate? Let's just duplicate her a bunch so that we have some things filled in. Okay. Cool. So now we will call this speaker grid. We will have 3 columns. Oops, that's apparently not where I meant to put it. There we go. Probably a lot, Stephen. Although, I don't know, it doesn't make my... Well, I was going to say it doesn't make my computer fans spin, but I do have an iMac Pro, so... You know. Okay, so we're going to have the image. Eventually I'll have to make this... Eventually I'll have to make this a link block to open up a bio, but for now, yeah, we're just doing it like this. Okay, and then we have heading. Nope, it's definitely an H3. Get the text from name. So when you design, do you use CSS ever? Or what kind of programming classes should I take to get into web design? There is a difference between web design and web development. I think I did a video about this on my channel a while ago. I can't remember. But yeah, go search for that. If you search Charlie Marie web design, web development, it should come up. Because they're different things. And you do not need to know any sort of programming or code to do web design. Because that is about web development. It helps you, for sure. And I also made a video about that. That is a large body, okay. Doo-doo-doo. Chris, I feel like what you were saying before about utility classes, I feel like Webflow has changed the way it's working, because it actually does seem to be doing what I want now, which is nice. So yeah, maybe you're right. I'm gonna have to make a new field for like a pretty link for the URL. This is a thing where, like, you know, if I was coding in WordPress, I would just write a thing to like remove the HTTP whatever from before. were those H3s as well, were they? No, I'm pretty sure those are H2s. At least they should be. Let's change that. Ika, I do not. I don't really use frames and auto layouts in Figma for like a design like this where it's new and it's not part of a system, if that makes sense. But I'm thinking in the same way as what you're talking about, so that definitely helps. Okay, let's we'll do the CMS field thing later. We'll just know that it's a thing that needs to be tackled. And I think I'll have to adapt my design a little bit here just to make it easier for myself, but that's okay. This over. What are you all working on as we're sitting here? See, it's really deceiving how much the spacing between things changes when you preview. And I don't know how to stop it doing that. But yeah, it's not ideal, that's for sure. Oh right, it's because it's got this extra row. I see, yeah. Same with this one probably, right? Making changes on Airtable reporting base. Corey's working on the ConvertKit site. Yeah, Eric, I'm pretty sure I would call that parallax anyway. I want to try and do some of that with these images here. But yeah, that will definitely come at a later time because my brain is not thinking that way. Might have to look up a Timothy Ricks tutorial for it. He's usually got good help there. Oh my gosh, everyone's asking me about the no-code cop. I haven't seen it yet. I'm sorry. I failed. I know what I need to do up the top here. I'm pretty sure I need to make these relative to, like, I'm using my hands at my screen, so you obviously can't see that. A block in here, like this block, rather than to this like wide background in general. Because ideally when like the page grows, these don't split out. Like it's just like, you know what I mean? Yeah, anyway, whatever. That's a future problem to tackle. Let's do the bottom of this, which I should be able to do the same as the top, I hope. So we have 100% width, then a negative margin. No, why is that not working this time? Oh, wrong way. There we go. Okay. Now I need more below so that we can actually see it. Oh shoot, and I'm going to try and put that squiggle on, am I? Oh dear. Okay, well that's fun, isn't it? Bind them to the box, then use Translate 3D. What does binding them to a box mean, Corey? Wait, I haven't been using that. Let's use the 12 column grid here again, huh? Thanks for hanging out, Ryan. Relative container. Absolute positioning to the general areas you want to be. Then use Translate 3D for the positioning outside of the container? What do you mean for the positioning outside of the container? Okay, let's keep going the rest of the page and then I might come back to that. 8. Add a heading. Our plan? The plan. Just push the button to make it do the thing. Okay, Gory. Mark! Yeah, you keep him in check. I was gonna make Mark a moderator as well, but then I feel like Mark would just ban Corey for the jokes. These are my workmates, people. They're wonderful. Is that an H? Yeah. Nope, H3. That was meant to be an H3. Who knows more, Corey Miller or Charlie? Why are our names in quote marks? I love that. Ah, shoot. Okay. So, if I remember correctly, Webflow and bullets are not super good friends. Let's Google this. Then maybe they've done something now? I don't know. Ooh. Well, let's try it at their way and see. Like, apparently there is a list item, which I didn't know existed. List, okay. Show settings. Are you gonna let me upload a bullet? Maybe I can just style it through the... I don't know. Let's see. I'm not seeing it. How to place list bullets. Okay. Okay. Let's follow these instructions. I'm going to bring them out separately. So this is the thing. Webflow has such great... Like, anything you want to do, there's... Someone's probably written a tutorial for it. It's awesome. Okay. Well, I guess I'll put a couple more list items in first. Let's do this whole day. I'm trying to put it within. What are you talking about? What? How did I put this in there if it's not letting me do it to this one? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna delete and duplicate this one because it was working. Does workflow in Figma and Webflow easier than Sketch to envision? I don't know. I never built things in InVision, if that makes sense. Do you mean like InVision Studio? Back when that was a thing? Is that still a thing? Okay. Can I style all list items? Yes. Nope, that wasn't the tutorial I was using, was it? Right, we've added a list. So now on our list, all unordered lists, style none, cool. And then let's remove the padding. Cool. Now on the list item, style all list items. Add some room for the icon. I don't know how much we'll need. I'm just going to put 30 on for now, maybe. Then set a background image. Did I export the little plus? I did. Whoa, okay. Nope, please don't tile. Left 0, top. Let's go like 2 pixels on the top. Nope, more than that. Cool. And then that was too much padding, so we'll just shrink it a bit. 25. Ha! That worked. Nice. I'm glad you're finding it soothing, Stephen. Oh no, I forgot my coffee. Now I have like cold milk. Slightly caffeine flavored milk. Shoot, I better check in on I have not checked Slack for a while. Oh dang, okay. Ryan was the one who asked about tickets to the conference. And Ryan has left, so that's unfortunate. I'll message him and let him know. But for anyone else, if you're wanting to get a ticket to this event that I'm like currently doing the site for, I just got permission to share this link to buy. Like right now there's actually we have the special price still up for past attendees, but the past attendees have had plenty of warning to get tickets at the special price. So if any of you want to grab one, there's the link. You can go ahead if you want. Because tickets will certainly never get cheaper than that, that's for sure. Why is this happening now? Wow, and what's happening up here? I have built a mess, haven't I? Yeah, this is not the one, not the way to do these bits, clearly. I think I have to do it the other way around with the... just like the navy sitting on top. I think that'd be smarter. Okay. And then how much padding do we want? Or margin after? I'm going to duplicate now, hopefully. This. Nice. Too much space. Hey Cleavon, you have missed a lot, but don't worry, there's still plenty more to do as well. Oops, wrong date. I wonder if future me is going to wish that I put each of these things in a div as well. Some more nesting. I don't know. We'll tackle that when we come to it. Okay, and then we actually want this to start in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6th column? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Did I make it go over 7 or did I make it go over 8? I did 8. Okay. So we want it to be 7. And we want it to start in the 6th. Go, whoop, 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 whoop. 6 to 12. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Why am I having so much trouble counting? Okay, anyway. I think I should do these as background images as well and not as actual images. Let's try it out for this one and then I'll go amend the top one. Can you build an online exam website with Webflow? I guess. 2, columns. Let's try it. Okay, background image. This one. I feel like that worked. We just want to put a bit more margin on this, maybe? Don't worry, everyone always misspells my name. Glad you caught me live. I don't normally stream on a Thursday, that's for sure, but yep, this is just time I had this week. Tomorrow at ConvertKit is what is called Mandatory Fun Day, where basically everyone has a day off, so that's nice. I might as well keep working with this grid, I guess. We could just add in one to span all 12 columns. That's not how you spell divider. I feel like I've made so much more progress on this than I expected to, which is awesome. Look how that looks tiled. Please go in the center. Okay. Oh. That's weird. If Thursday is the 23rd, Sunday can't be you are correct. And this should say Saturday. There we go. Oh, and I see what you're saying here. That should say Saturday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nelson, now you're asking me about the no-code conference keynote. I still haven't seen it. Maybe we should do a watch party and watch it together. But only after I've finished working on this. No, not in there. I don't know why I felt the need to copy paste FAQ just then. It's a pretty easy thing just to type. Maybe I should, Corey. I don't want to do a watch party because I don't know if there's any copyrighted music and stuff in it that would mean the stream gets taken down for anyone who wants to watch the replay later. How shall I do? I'm wondering if I should set up the FAQs in a CMS item to be edited easier. Nah, I think it'll be fine. There's no copyrighted music on it? Well, okay. Where do we find it? Can someone drop the link in to where I watch it? And we can watch it together. Oh, cool. Maguire made the music? I need to go find the doc where these are, so I'm just going to do this for now. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, please can someone drop the link to what I should be looking at? And we'll watch it. Oh, wait. Maybe it can't, it's not letting you post links to me. That is often the case. You can't hear it? What do you mean, Irfan? You can't hear me? Has something happened to my audio? Looks like it's still working. Okay, can someone... Yeah, I can't see any links that you're posting, Marine from Texas. I think because of YouTube chat settings. Could you tweet it to me? And I could just go find it for myself by this point. Oh, there we go. Corey was able to drop the link to it. Ah, hang on. Now it's lost my chat. I'm just getting a... Why am I getting an error note with that? Oh, fuck you, Corey. Well, Corey just rickrolled us all. I'll keep searching. My bad for thinking you were actually being useful. Not 20. This one? 57 minutes long? Jeez. All right. Wait, is this it? Did you hear it start playing in my through my mic? I don't know if you did, but it definitely loaded. Okay, we'll have this going in the corner. Oh, sorry, Stephen. I should probably mark my streams as not safe for work. Oh, let's stop the playlist.
There's a pattern in all great stories.
That's
We're at
Maguire,
point A,
right?
We want to get to point C, but to get there, we have to go through point B.
How's the levels?
This goes back to Aristotle's Poetics. Aristotle said this: all great stories are made up of intention and obstacle. In order to fulfill a character's intention, they must first overcome a great obstacle.
Too low?
Okay, let's pause for a second.
What's up?
You know Aristotle didn't say any of those words.
Aristotle wrote Poetics.
But you said those words in English.
Can you prove
Here we go.
that he didn't say these words?
Can I prove? Let me
I
get
love
this
these
right.
two.
Can I prove that Aristotle didn't speak English?
It is not impossible.
He was in the 4th century.
Okay, less probable.
BC.
What Aristotle was getting at, though, is something that affects all great storytelling.
Now
Luke
we're good?
wants to save the princess. The empire gets in the way.
Okay, how about that?
And obstacle. Elsa wants to live a normal life, but there's a curse in the way of doing that. Intention and obstacle. Every book you've ever loved, every tale you've ever heard has followed this same pattern. There's a thing they want or need, a what if, and an obstacle in the way of getting it. The story gets really interesting when our characters attempt to overcome their obstacles. This happens in the real world too. To send a long-distance message to someone, you used to need a telegraph operator, and they'd use Morse code to transmit the message. Now we just pick up the phone to call or text or even see the person's face. Designers creating magazine layouts would need scissors and glue and teams of typesetters. This is literally where we got the term cut and paste from. But now they just use InDesign or Canva to make this happen directly. Doing computations used to require a room-sized mainframe and a knowledge of programming languages like Pascal and C.
Wait, I
But
just clicked that this
now
is the music
billions
that
of
he
people
scored,
use
right? Nelson was
spreadsheets
saying?
to give them computing superpowers. To edit videos, you literally had to cut and splice film together, or swap out VHS tapes using really expensive hardware. But now almost everyone has a film studio in their pocket. What does any of this have to do with Aristotle? Overcoming these obstacles is where things start to get really interesting. Here's how. Whenever we've had even a tiny revolution in these technologies, it's usually been achieved by democratizing something that was previously exclusive to a smaller group. It shrinks point B so much that whoever's at point A can reach out and touch point C. We've seen this same pattern for a while in creating user interfaces. Since long before the work at Xerox PARC, we've been trying to find better ways to use direct manipulation to bring designs to life. For most of the history of computing, it's required a translation step to go from design to code. We know that because a designer designs a UI and they hand it off for development to bring that design to life. And there's a lot of back and forth in this translation step because after it's first built, you could have just 1 or 2 changes or 30. Back and forth we go, round and round, all because we have to translate our ideas from point A to get us to point C. The fact that you even need that translation means most people can't ever get to point C without writing code.
Right click
And
twice?
That's because the translation, the work to get from A to C, requires speed,
Nope.
which can be highly
Just zooming in.
specialized and hard to learn and expensive, and so
It's
very
okay, we'll
few
keep it
hold
like
the
this.
keys to this process. So many of those who could imagine creating don't have the necessary tools to make it real. So, let's do a thought experiment, a what if. What if designers had the power to create software directly? What if they could do this without requiring a translation step to bring their ideas to life? What if instead of writing the code for an interactive website
Ooh, look at that.
a designer could build and deliver the whole thing from end to end? What if anyone could turn something like a spreadsheet into a fully functional mobile application? What if creating a new product didn't require
I'm gonna do a
learning
tweet about
tons of
this
development
watch party.
frameworks, but instead you could just build it directly based on the rules and workflows you define? And what if powerful websites and web apps were built completely visually? Instead of writing the code in a text editor, what if we could build our designs directly and the code would write itself? And what if delivering to the world all we create didn't require manual deployment? We could just push this stuff directly to production. What if the obstacles that are holding so many people back could be overcome? In other words, the big what if we're
Now you're
trying
watching
to
me
answer
craft
is
a
this.
tweet in real
What
time?
if more
Shit,
people
what's
were
my
empowered to create things
link?
directly without translation? Could we build a bridge from point A to point C that didn't always require
Oh, wait.
going through point B? That's why we're here today. How do we envision the future? Will building software and creating with no code evolve with the same inevitability as communication and print design and graphic design and 3D animation and photography and game design and video editing and
Yeah,
illustration?
it's a little long.
It's empowering.
Yeah, the music ended like 8 minutes ago.
Okay, how would you do it?
How would I end it?
Mm-hmm.
I would cut to black,
Okay, and then?
and then I would show the no code conf logo.
No code conf logo. Here it is.
Okay, almost there. Let's Miguel, can we add the chord at the end?
I'm way ahead of you.
Nice. Their team just looks like they have so much fun, right?
Welcome to NoCodeConf 2021,
Hey, Vlad.
everyone. Thank you all so much for coming today. We have people joining us from over 135 countries. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I have to believe it because the movement is growing really, really fast and the numbers are right there for us to see, but it still feels surreal to me. I'm here at the Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco, where we're
Nice.
going to be hosting a bunch of breakout sessions, in addition to dozens and dozens of virtual sessions from people across the world and across the no-code space. I'm so excited about the agenda for both days of the conference this year. 2 years ago, we hosted the very first no-code conf, not too far away from where I'm standing today. And the world has changed so much since then. Today,
There we go.
even more of how we live our lives, how we do our work, how our economies operate relies on the internet, which is powered by software, which is written in code. But it's still the case that less than half of 1% of the world can write code directly, meaning that the vast, vast majority of innovation in software, the stuff that's transformed our lives and the entire world around us, it's come
That
from
worked
just
better.
this tiny group of people. And it's mostly this tiny group of people who have been able to realize the huge economic opportunity that comes from solving problems through software. With the no-code movement, we don't want to take that power away from anyone, but rather also put it into the hands of the billions of people on this planet who don't code. What drives us is pretty simple. We believe that if we can remove a lot of the obstacles that stand in the way of most people creating software for the internet, if we multiply the number of people who can build for the web, we can unlock so much more creative and economic potential and make the craft of software development so much more human in the process. What would shattering that code barrier
Yeah, fun. They've had to, haven't they? Virtual
How much
presentations.
complexity would that eliminate? Most importantly, how many real human beings could we empower? And what previously unimaginable possibilities would we see come to life? Because 100 times as many people could harness that true power of software development. That's why we're all here today at NoCodeConf. We want to push the limits of what we can all bring to life with no code, removing the obstacles in our way to empower more and more people, designers, entrepreneurs, teams, entire companies, to bring ideas and experiences and entire products to life in a fundamentally more intuitive way. And since our last conference, we've seen rapid acceleration in the no-code space. Tools
Did
like
anyone here
Figma
go to
and
the
Framework
first
are
one in person?
transforming the way people are designing and prototyping user interfaces. Companies like Glide and Adalo are bringing the learning curve way down to create powerful mobile apps. Airtable is bringing us the power of data to solve for what previously required complex databases. Voiceflow is transforming the way people build for voice and chat. Bubble and Uncork are enabling companies to build complex web applications. Productivity tools like Notion and
Ooh, I
Coda
did
are
a
even
coffee with
bringing
Charlie for
traditionally
Figma's channel
complex
about
solutions
Uncork.
to docs and wikis. Even Apple is putting the power of no-code automation into the hands of every iPhone and Mac user with shortcuts. And people are starting to connect and combine a lot of these tools to do what was previously only possible with code. Services like Zapier and Parabola are helping us connect
Of course you
different
did,
tools
Nelson.
together. Different services that trigger actions based on what people configure visually. In fact, most of what people are able to do in these tools today used to require teams of engineers to solve. With all of this, more manual work is being automated. People are making a living. New businesses are being built. Existing businesses are transforming how they work. All of this because these no-code tools empower more people to create directly without a translation layer in the middle. And what we've clearly seen is that it's way more than a trend. Not only is no-code elevating the power of computing to a visual interface, but just like we witnessed in the early days of the internet, when it transformed from a hobby to a powerful way to connect and build and do more, we're seeing no-code being used across the entire world to benefit the lives and businesses of millions of people. We're even starting to see companies create formal full-time roles with titles like no-code developer and visual developer, which would have been really
That was part
hard
of
to
the.
believe even just a couple
Wait,
of
I'm
years
going to
ago.
pause while I talk to you. I do a trends video with Webflow each year, and I'm pretty sure this was one of the trends that was called out in this video for 2021. So I would have it would have been uploaded in January this year. Was more of these no-code or low-code developer job titles actually existing, which is cool.
Despite the label no-code that has come to represent this category of tools, I mean, it's in our conference name, it's actually all powered by code under the hood. What we're actually doing is taking the systems that software engineers have created, refined, and battle-tested over the last 50 years, and taking many of the code-based APIs that are used by engineers today, and adding an intuitive user interface on top of them. This doesn't remove any of the actual code behind the scenes, but it instead hides it behind a visual interface. And that brings all of the power of those code-based primitives to the rest of the world that doesn't code. So there's actually not much magic under the hood. We're taking proven software engineering principles and concepts and building blocks and making them accessible via direct manipulation. So what are those core software engineering concepts, you might ask? Well, they fall into three major pillars of software development. The first is UIs, user interfaces, which we talked about in the intro. This is how people interact with a website or application. For the web, front-end engineers use technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and frameworks like React to build UIs with code. The second pillar is data, or a store of all the structured records behind the scenes. It could be all the content stored in a CMS for a marketing site, or all of the users and photos and comments stored in a database for a huge service like Instagram. backend engineers typically set up databases like MySQL and Mongo to store and retrieve all this data with code. And the third major pillar is logic, or all the custom decisions and workflows and actions that happen when a user does something through a UI.
Why are you so small?
Or something in the database changes. Logic is basically, if this happens, then something else happens as a result. For Airbnb,
Oh,
it
this
might
is
be
what who was
logic
saying
that
before,
runs
the
all the payment
if this then
and
that.
booking code. If someone hits the reserve button, then send a text message to the host of that property. For YouTube, if someone uploads a new video, then insert a new record into the video database and trigger emails to certain subscribers. Each application has tons and tons of custom logic. And software developers use programming languages and frameworks like
Nikolai, there we go,
Node.js,
that was it.
Ruby on Rails to write all of this logic and code. No-code tools are taking all of this code complexity across UI, data, logic, and infrastructure, and dramatically simplifying it by hiding and automating all the things that can be automated. Let's just take Webflow as one example, and how we've started to tackle some of these pillars.
I love this
Webflow, of
gradient
course,
in
focuses
the
on
background. It's
first
super
two,
nice.
UI and data. In fact, when we launched Webflow in 2013, we unlocked the ability for people to harness the power of HTML and CSS to build websites and UIs visually. It unlocked the same tags and styling properties that developers were using, but made them available through an interface that automatically generated production-ready code behind the scenes. And what happened when designers discovered that they could create the same kind of super custom, highly interactive production websites as some of the best developers in the world, creative output exploded. And millions more people started building high-end responsive websites directly
This
without
is going to be
having
tricky to
translate
build.
code. A few years later, we expanded into data by building our own CMS. But we didn't just build a traditional CMS that only stores basic things like pages and blog posts. Instead, we decided to make it really flexible, like the databases that developers use, so that you could create pretty much any kind of database structure or schema, regardless of what kind of content you might be storing in it. This meant that you could now create and manage a database without code. Airtable did this too, by the way. So what developers are creating with programming frameworks and SQL, things like creating, updating, and deleting records via code, was now possible to non-coders who also wanted to harness that power of building with data. But the true power emerged when we combined these two pillars together. We made it seamless to pull live CMS data from the database directly into the UI and design with that live data right on the canvas. While the two concepts of UI and data are really powerful separately, bringing them together created something far greater than the sum of the parts, while still resulting in exactly the same end product, a production website or an application that is powered by live data. Gone is the obstacle and the friction of translating all this to code manually. Now, Webflow is just one example of this trend of moving development into the visual realm, because we're seeing people connect all sorts of no-code tools together to do amazing things. I mentioned Zapier earlier. They're really leading the charge here to help connect multiple tools and services, all through a point-and-click UI. But the idea here is a powerful one. The connection of just two of these pillars of software development unlocks so much more than either one of them in isolation. And since our last conference, the no-code space has grown tremendously. Terms like visual development and citizen developers.
Oh, I've not heard that one.
More commonplace.
What the heck is a citizen
Tide is
developer?
Clearly starting to shift when it comes to no-code no longer being seen as a hobby or a toy. It's finally being seen as a powerful tool for individuals and companies to solve really important technical and business problems faster. With all the progress we've made so far, we still have a long way to go to bring the full power of software development to no-code tools and platforms. It's really the very early days of this movement taking shape. But that's also what makes it really exciting to me, because the vast majority
Tino in
of what we
Peru.
need to create to empower the world to build for the web is yet to be invented. But before we go deeper on what the future of no-code might have in store for us, I want to pass it over to Brian and the team back at Webflow's San Francisco office for an update on Webflow's customers and community. And to talk
I
about
want to
some
skip forward to
really
the
exciting
features.
things
I
that
wish
we're
that
doing.
added.
Brian?
Thank you, Vlad. I'm really excited to share some of the progress that's been made since our last no-code conf. And we'll start with our customers. At Webflow, we've seen massive growth, growing entire businesses with Webflow empowering more people to build and launch production sites.
So, today, we're announcing two
Okay, here we go.
different
New
things.
features.
The first one is simplified workspaces, and the second is roles and permissions. Let's start with workspaces. We're consolidating individual and team account plans into a single concept, and that's workspaces. This removes the hassle of account setup as you and your team and as your business scales. So whether you're a freelancer adding collaborators, an agency managing a more complex group, or even a large business with tons of collaborators across different departments, you can quickly and easily add seats to keep your Webflow workspace agile and efficient. And here's where it gets interesting. With roles and
that makes sense,
permissions,
Kitu.
we can now structure how we want to get work done. In other words, we care about who can do what. Because if you're like some people like Reamer, who remain nameless, you can accidentally unpublish a production
Who
site
remain
that's
nameless,
visited
but
by
I'll name him.
literally hundreds of millions of people. So maybe you want to control that access. Who can publish, who can manage account settings like billing, and who can add team members to the workspace. With roles and permissions, you can structure how you want to get work done with your team or your clients. Control over who can do what.
Okay, yeah.
So we're announcing the shift from individual and team account plans into workspaces. Webflow scales with your team as your team scales. And you control who can do what in your workspace with roles and permissions. And we're going to be building from here because this work sets up so many of our upcoming investments in collaboration. Being able to add teammates only to specific sites, the ability to add roles exclusively for commenting and annotation,
I mean, that seems useful.
and the ability to add specific roles for content. These are content-only team members you can add to your workspace. And that's collaboration in Webflow. To take us through our next major Webflow announcements, I'm going to pass it back to Vlad.
Thanks, Jay-Z. So with collaboration in Webflow, you can build and launch production sites, combining all the power of UI and data that you've come to expect from Webflow, together with your team and your clients. So that's collaboration. But we're just getting started, because today we're going to share product announcements across all three of the major pillars of software development that I mentioned earlier, starting, of course, with UIs, or user interfaces. Back to you, Jay-Z.
Thanks, Vlad. We're thrilled with how Webflow is being used by our customers, whether it's designers, agencies, marketing teams, and really companies of all sizes. What we hear over and over are stories of how our customers are using Webflow, not just because it's a visual development platform, but because of its power. So when it comes to building UIs, so much of that power is found in Webflow's style panel, where you can tweak precise style and layout properties.
Ramja, do you mean the ability to, like, your client doesn't want you to have the ability to delete, or like your company doesn't want to have you the ability to delete?
Cheat sheets when we're building out UIs for our product. And that's why the CSS preview tool in the designer is really interesting to us. Federico, by the way, this is Federico. Federico built this feature, and it's a great way to not only see the CSS that's being generated, but it's a great reference as we're actually developing. In fact, Federico literally used Webflow to design and iterate on this user interface. So he used Webflow to design and build the tool he's building to preview the CSS using the CSS tool he built.
Oof.
Are you following that thought?
Nope.
Completely following.
And we do this all the time. It's not so much that Webflow is some kind of web builder. That's not its advantage. Webflow's advantage is that while you're using the style panel to define these properties, the code is writing itself. So is it really
I
no
don't want my
code?
button to do that.
Yes.
No. Well, yes. We're manipulating the styles directly, and the CSS code is being generated automatically, without the need to translate anything.
That makes sense,
So,
Ramja.
what we're doing here is taking all the power of, let's say, CSS grid. We design and iterate right here on the canvas, and the CSS is generated for us. So when we publish for the world to see, the CSS that's generated is exactly what ends up in production. That's the power of direct manipulation. It's not overly abstracted or built in complex templates or presets. That relationship is one-to-one, from the style
Oops,
panel to the
what happened?
CSS that's generated. But it's not just that the CSS is generated. All the code is compiled automatically. So there's no need to pass it off to a developer to get this into production. It's already done with the
No worries,
press of a
Janice. The
button.
upload will be
Actually,
on my channel later
two
for you.
presses of a button. But the other advantage with that is if we want to integrate our own custom CSS, we can usually just add it on top of what we define in the style panel, because all of this is exactly what a developer would write.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Jay-Z?
Thank you, Arkway. Today, I'm really excited to announce that we're adding 2 additions to the style panel to unlock even more for building powerful UIs. The first is blending modes. If you use tools like Photoshop, this will feel like second nature. Because when elements or
Hands up,
layers
who
stack on
uses
top of
Photoshop
each
these
other,
days?
blending lets us achieve different kinds of looks based on the mode we select. If we had
Nice.
to code this manually,
Yeah.
not only would we have to reference the syntax or copy it to the clipboard, but we'd have to remember which blending mode does what. And that's a huge pain for designers and developers. To show you how we're solving this in the Webflow Designer, I'm going to pass it over to Sada.
Thank you, JC. Blending modes usually apply to an element in the foreground.
Why did I
what
not
they end up looking like is based on the elements
export that all
behind them.
together?
So, for this example, you can make a selection.
Okay, I want to skip
in the
past blending modes.
But that's just the first one. The second addition to the Webflow style panel is backdrop filters. With backdrop filters, you can take any element you want and control what happens to transparent areas inside that boundary. We see this being used very creatively on the web, notably on apple.com.
Hey,
for
Nikolai.
navigation.
We're watching the
To show
no code
examples
conf
of
keynote.
backdrop filters in action, I'm going to pass it back to Sada.
Okay, second demo of the day. Here I have my navigation, and using the background color we already set the opacity so it's a bit transparent. As we scroll, we can see the content behind, but the contrast is high enough so that we can still see the foreground against the background. But let's go down and add a backdrop filter. And from here, let's set our blur. And watch this. Now, when we scroll through the page, everything behind the navbar is blurred. And it gets better because we can
Nice.
stack filters. Let's add another effect on top of this. Let's increase the saturation. Of course, we might also want to adjust the brightness here. Just tweak the values and stack the filters exactly how we want. We can also switch between visible and hidden for each effect. So we can stack as many as we want to achieve all kinds of looks.
So that's a bit down here.
This
Yeah.
is just the beginning. And we can't wait to see what you build next.
Thanks, Sada. Backdrop Filters ships in beta today with support in most major browsers. For a lot of the stuff we're showing here, we reached out to some of our Webflow experts. These are expert partner agencies and freelancers. And in just 2 days, they explored different ways to use backdrop filters and blending modes. And the results are incredible. The Webflow Designer gives us full control over building beautiful custom user interfaces.
I don't know if I'm under NDA for this or not, but they did reach out to me to ask if I could build something. I didn't sign anything. I think I'm fine to say this. They asked me if I could build something, like using some new features, but I didn't have the time. Like, it was only a few days. So I was like, I can't drop everything and do this, but it would have been cool. They were paying people to do it as well, which I love.
The standard for speed and precise creative control. With a full suite of direct style and layout properties, and now the addition of CSS blending modes and backdrop filters, we're going to continue to unlock for designers.
This
and
is
visual
feeling really
developers
Apple-like.
the
Yeah.
kinds of superpowers that front-end engineers have today. So that's what's new for UI. But like I mentioned before, it's when you capabilities, that's when things start to get really interesting. And I'm really excited to talk about our data capabilities for a few reasons. First off, when it comes to data, we've seen incredible sites come to life with the Webflow CMS. For the first time ever, designers can design with dynamic data with full control over custom styling and layout, but without having to write CSS or spin up databases or figure out how to write API calls to pull data into the UI. And everyone from solo freelancers to major businesses have noticed. Data-driven CMS sites have expanded dramatically on the Webflow platform, making up the vast majority of websites and projects launched to production with Webflow today. Also in the data bucket is e-commerce. We see e-commerce products and payments, whether it's selling physical goods, digital goods, or even services, as a specialized form of data. Having access to payments as a key building block when creating an online experience visually is such a huge unlock. And we're seeing tons of businesses start and grow on Webflow e-commerce. And the way that commerce data, things like the products you sell, is stored securely in the backend and tied directly to our UI design tools, just like our visual CMS integration, that means more designers can create unique e-commerce experiences.
What is
by
CSS?
Using all that data to build completely custom.
Excuse me, Vlad.
Who's this?
I thought
It's not important. You keep saying all that data. It's just those data.
Wait, is it really those data?
Yeah, it kind of is.
That means more and more designers are developing custom e-commerce solutions by using those data to build completely custom interfaces. And finally, the last thing in this data pillar, today I'm really excited to to announce that we've been going through an architectural overhaul of our entire CMS data infrastructure, which is unlocking major performance improvements for sites with lots of CMS items and e-commerce products. To talk more about this, I'm going to pass it back over to Arkway.
Thanks, Vlad. The changes to our data architecture are all about performance. And the way it works is this. Let's say we have a large site with a ton of CMS data. The advantage of managing something like this in Webflow is that you can visually develop these complex page designs, and you can bind or you can point the elements in your design to the data in the CMS. And our customers are pushing the Webflow CMS to new limits, and they're using this data infrastructure on everything from dynamic.
Interested to see how I'm going to do what? Take an animation part?
Custom e-commerce experiences. But today, we're announcing that we're re-architecting.
Oh, thanks for answering that, Corey.
Used in the Webflow designer, so you can do more, and you can work faster and larger and more complex sites. And I'll pass it to Jay-Z to talk about how this affects the product experience.
Thanks, Arkway. The results are substantial.
Look at this laptop
On
floating in
complex
the side
sites,
there.
Loading up a project in the Webflow designer is now up to 15 times faster.
Okay.
Instances without this are based on the simple idea that the application is customized to the user who signs up and is logged in. So far in Webflow, this hasn't been natively possible. Even if you build a great UI and connect it with custom data, the experience is generally the same for everyone who visits the site. This is why adding users as a core building block in Webflow is such a big deal. By creating unique experiences based on who's logged in, and by controlling who gets access to what, we're going so far beyond the traditionally accepted idea of what a website is and what it can do. Users in Webflow is based on 3 core concepts. The first is the basic concept of adding a user database to your site. And to demonstrate how this is done in Webflow, I'm going to pass it over to Maguire.
Thank you, Jay-Z. 2 things right off the bat. First, we're covering a lot here with users, so we'll go through as much as we can in this part of the keynote. And second, Jay-Z, your laptop has been hovering this entire time.
See, that's what I said.
So let's start with adding users. In this Keynote example site, aptly named by Jay-Z, Keynote example site, we have content here that we only want logged in users to have access to. In other words, we want to make sure someone signed up and logged in before they can access this content. In Webflow, we can now head on over to users. And when we add users to the site, we unlock a ton of control right out of the box. Because if we go to the Pages panel now, we can see a million new...
When they were saying users before, I thought they were meaning like user accounts, but I guess that was the team thing.
Control the experience down to the pixel. These aren't fixed in a template pages. These are rich, make it 100% your own, customizable pages with all the power you've come to expect from Webflow. So if you want to build out your sign-up page to fully match your brand, you can do that. Because this is all native to Webflow, you can fully integrate your existing styling, even interactions, to create custom experiences that previously required a fusion reactor and advanced training in thermodynamics. Jay-Z?
Thanks, Maguire. So we're just getting started, and we have a lot more to show you here with users. So once you create a user database on a site, you can manage those users from the Webflow designer. You can customize transactional emails and fully design all the pages associated with users. That's the first part of users in Webflow. The second part is gating content through access groups. Depending on whether we want our gated content accessible to all logged in users or just some users who come to our site, now we can control that. Maguire?
Thanks, Jay-Z.
I don't know, Dan.
Groups, we have full control over gating.
Just mute this while I should answer that. I tend to design desktop first, so it really suits me. But I could see how if you don't, then yeah, that would be hard to get used to.
And logged in, we can do that. We can define what content this group has access to.
I wonder if this is going to come included in
gated access to some of
in a plan, like in all plans, or if this is an add-on, or like I don't know. Because people can run membership sites on this now, and there's a bunch of membership tools, like the plugin to WordPress or whatever, that are quite expensive. So if you can do this on Webflow, that's pretty cool.
All the user authentication details, and it stores all the user data associated.
I agree,
with
Juan
that
Carlos.
Secure.
I like having that.
Thanks, Maguire. All of this used to require engineers.
Good point, Nikolai.
Custom integration work. But with access groups and gated content in Webflow,
I think I forgot that.
We're just designing static sites or even dynamic sites. We're able to start building secure, user-driven experiences without code.
Hola, Jefferson.
Now, What about the third part of this? We showed adding user functionality and the power that unlocks. We showed access groups and how we can get access to content based on what group a user belongs to.
Oh my god. Also, okay, I just had a flashback to a freelance project I did several years ago that went so terrible. I need to make a video, like a storytime video talking about it sometime. It was all my fault. Basically, I took on way more than I could handle, but it was like a membership site. If Webflow had existed, I'm just like, oh my god, it could have saved me so many headaches if I could have been able to do it in Webflow, you know? I was trying to build it in WordPress with, you know, plugins and whatever, and oh, it was a disaster. We got it done in the end, but not without a lot of tears. Oh my god. And that is why I don't freelance anymore, folks.
Really interesting question is this. What if we combined different data building blocks together? We've seen the power of combining UI and data, and we've seen examples of how CMS and e-commerce payments unlock superpowers. But if our major building blocks in data are CMS items, e-commerce products and payments, and now users, what if we combined all that?
Yeah,
potential?
you were the one who helped me through
In
it,
other
Corey.
words, what if
I wouldn't
Webflow
have been able to
e-commerce
do it if it
didn't
wasn't for you, I
just
don't
let us
think.
sell goods or downloads or services? What if we could sell access to gated content? And what if we could create subscriptions and paid memberships to access that content?
Ooh, I wonder how it could link
Well,
with ConvertKit
that's
Commerce.
exactly what we did.
Membership sites have transformed the internet. With platforms like Masterclass, they've created some of the highest quality teaching on the planet. And when you get an annual subscription, you unlock their library of courses. The concept of paid access in Webflow, this builds right on top of what we covered earlier, enabling user accounts and controlling access to gated content. But now, with memberships in Webflow, you can monetize content. You can charge for access, whether it's a one-time payment or even a recurring subscription. And the sky's the limit. You can create e-learning platforms, membership-only experiences. If you're a freelancer or you're an agency, you can create gated client-only sections. You can create your own version of Patreon. You can charge for premium access in all different categories, like
Yeah, okay, that's
all
cool.
of their content. So it's a similar example to
More features, more
It's one of
features.
the most powerful ways to build custom membership experiences. And it's just the start.
All right,
The
so I think
concept
I'm
of users
skipped
is
ahead
such
too
a
much, but
foundational
it
part
is
of
an extra
almost
thing.
Everything built on the web. And we'll be sharing much more in this area in the future. Okay, so far we've covered some big updates across the first two major web development pillars in Webflow, UI and data. With capabilities like users and memberships, our vision for what's possible on the web is extending far beyond the traditional static or even dynamic content websites. But to make our ultimate long-term vision a reality, to bring more of that full power that software engineers have today into the hands of everyone, we
Why is
believe
this
that
doing this?
UI and data building blocks, as powerful as they are not enough. And that brings me to our final Webflow announcement today. I want to give you a preview of something big we've been working on that we believe will dramatically expand the power of Webflow's platform. Let's talk about the third major pillar of software development, and that's logic. What if, as you're designing UIs and working with real data in Webflow, you also had the ability to visually declare custom workflows that describe exactly what you want to happen when a certain user event takes place? What if you could declare how you want user actions in the UI to update and change your CMS data? Developers call this business logic, and it makes up a massive amount of the work that's written in code. And today, we're announcing that we're bringing the power of visual logic natively to Webflow. To show you what we mean, I'm going to pass it over to Maguire at the Webflow studio.
Okay, here's how
something
logic
has
works in
there we
Webflow.
go.
I'll do this in 3 examples. For the first one, we have a lead generation form here, which is built in Webflow, and it captures a lot
one
of
more
critical
thing.
information. And there's this specific field here that lets us capture the size of the organization. So in the designer, we're going to create a workflow. We're going to create a workflow that's going to get
Ooh.
triggered when this form is submitted.
This is cool.
visually describes all the things we want to happen when the form is submitted. And we have so many options here. For instance, we can do something really basic and add a simple block. But this block is powerful because this block takes every single form submission event and it sends an email to Greamer.
Automations in
Now,
Webflow.
Is that the pinnacle of what we can do in Logic? No, because that's pretty boring. And you can already do that with Webflow form submissions today. But what if we could start making decisions based on the data that a user submits. So let's focus on, for this example, let's look at the drop-down field. When someone fills out the form, they're specifying the size of their organization. So here we are in a new workflow, and here we can actually add a condition that says, hey, for businesses that are bigger than 500 employees, let's send an email which will notify the VP of sales. But we can also define a second outcome if that statement is false. If the business is small,
or cobbling together multiple tools and APIs to achieve the same functionality.
Something
Okay.
that'll work like magic.
it is magic.
And what you can, sorry, to be clear, that to the premium job listings collection. However, if the budget is under $100,000,
Okay, okay, more examples.
Amazon and Twitter combined. Again,
Is that all the
not much magic
features?
here. We're taking the best practices in systems development.
Okay, that was cool. The logic one might be able to come in handy for me with this site I'm building right now, actually, because what we'll have eventually is an attendee form they fill out. I'm going to close this now and let's put the music back on. Basically, my overall thoughts on that keynote are that I feel glad that I essentially like hitched myself to the Webflow wagon. Yeah, there's a lot of no code and website building tools now, and a lot of them reach out to me and are like, I don't know, they want to sponsor a video and things, but I don't like to take on sponsorships from a tool that I don't already use and love myself. And so for that reason, I've said no to them all, and I feel like it was good to do so because I'm sticking with Webflow, you know, it's doing good. Okay, I've managed to get way further with this than I expected, which is awesome. Why does that keep happening? I like click on here and it doesn't. There we go. Yeah, it would be very good to have a... Essentially, it's just like a desktop version of the app, right? Okay, so I swapped these out. I don't know if you noticed as I was going, ooh, I'm seeing that I need to make a small tweak there, but that's okay. I swapped these out to be an SVG that has the dark top on it, just so that it, yeah, lines up better. So that's good. So this is all we got. Time to try and understand what the heck Corey was talking about when he was talking about 3D transform for these images. Although I'm not mad at the way it's going. Nah, we want to change it. Because also it's causing some mean overflow right now. Okay. How about Wix? Not interested. Yep, Wix reach out asking for a sponsorship sometimes. I did one for them. They were like one of my first ever sponsorships, but yeah. Okay, so how do I need to rethink about this heading? Corey, I'm going to scroll back and see what you said. Oh my gosh, there's been so much chat. Now I've scrolled back past your Rickroll. Okay, so you said a relative container. So that will be this container here, right? Or... No, I want it to be to this container, don't I? Yeah. Like, put this stuff inside that. Oops. Oh my gosh, did it just work by simply moving it around? But then you said something about 3D transform that I didn't understand. Like if I put this in here, then I just have to change the, like, positioning of them, right? I don't understand. Basically, I'm not understanding what the 3D transform part of this is for. Is that going to be the thing that helps me with overflow, I wonder? Okay, let's put these back in their places that they were before. So this sort of then this one, where does that sit? Just sort of above the T. That one's good there, I think. And then this one. Oh, all of this should be up a bit more. I don't, like, it seems to be working. I don't understand why I need this 3D transform. Also, I need a... Where is the video? Here we go. Oh, it's so sad that we haven't had one of these since 2019. Corey's leaving us hanging. Do something like... Now, one thing I did not think to get was the play button. Let's build one, shall we? Oh. Usually try to keep top button constrained, but then use translate 30 for further manipulation. Okay, so you're saying that, for example, with this one that I have here, well, first of all, I've done a pixel thing, so I don't know if I should have done that or not. What is the benefit of doing that way, Corey? Can you explain? Is that going to be better in some browsers or something? But I'm excited to have these all like animate in. We'll do that in another stream, I think, get into that side of things. Webflow has 3D transform. I just don't understand. So, okay, let me see if I understand what you're saying here. So for this, I would do... Everything would be 0? Or like, it'd be like this, I guess? Where did it go? I don't know where it went. Putting bottom right for it. And then would I add a 3D... I don't know. I'm gonna go back to what I had. It was working for me. How much of Figma should I know when applying for an internship at a software firm? I don't know. Do they use Figma there? And are you trying to be... Is it a design role you're applying for? In which case I would say a lot. I Actually, I can't speak for other companies. I don't know what the go is these days. But if I was hiring an intern, I would expect them to already know the software, and that what we would be doing together on the job was more like strategy and design thinking and that stuff. Oh, where did that link go before that I had? Play button, play button, play button. I think we'll get the play button in, maybe, and then that'll be the last thing for today. How's all your work going, everyone? Was watching the Node Code Conf together a big distraction? Where did that just go? Oh. Helps with, okay, so Corey's saying that Transform 3D helps with positional anchoring. Okay, but when I did it, Corey, okay, let's try again with this one image. So if I set this to the like bottom right again, is it because my header background, is it because this is relative that it's not working? Because it's like, you know, hanging out up there, of course. Do I need to give this like a 100% height or something? Nope. Since we're working with clients, have you found it a hard sell to a Webflow solution for WordPress one, for example? Don't work with clients, I'm afraid, so I guess no, I haven't found it difficult because I haven't tried it. Okay. I do want to try and get that working, but I think it's going to require more brain power than what I'm having right now. So let's keep going with this play button. And then this I need to do absolute, right? I think. And it should be in the center? No, that has not worked as expected. I feel like I always struggle with this one. Should you be relative as well? Nope. I think I've had to use the transform thing you're talking about for this in the past, haven't I? Nope. Why is it not doing that? I would have thought that that would go in here. Auto margins? Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I mean, that works. Well, not really. What have I done in the past to put, like, I've done this so many times, and for like every single video thing I've ever done. Oh, there we go. Well, that'll do. Ah, yes, centering. This needs to move up a little bit. We want you to have a bit more overlap. And I need to come through and put like alt text on all these images so that the text actually reads. This is all we got, folks. Let's look at it like this because... Ooh, interesting. That disappears. That's not ideal, is it? Okay, well I need to fix that, but... No, it's still disappearing. Screw you! What's your problem? Oh, I need to give it a height, don't I? Yeah, that would be easy, Gabriel, but I want to, be able to manipulate it, like in hover, for example. This is like a lot to come in one day. Obviously, as we let's watch for the mess, shall we? As we break down. I mean, could be worse. Could be worse. Could be a lot better. Yeah, here's where it gets really messy, huh? So yeah, this will be our thing to fix in a future stream. Maybe sometime next week? No, probably not next week because I'm going to be working remotely from Norway next week. But yeah, I'm pleased with how far we've come today. I think that this is going to work out well in the end. And I will try the transform 3D thing later on. But yeah, I'm going to go back to ship it. We're not ready to quite ship it yet, Corey. Let's come back here. Thanks for joining me today. This was super fun to work alongside you. If you did work, should we do a bit of a cat cameo before I go? One sec. Nora, come here. Ooh. Here we go. She says hi. She's been hanging out in the room with me this whole time. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a good rest of your work day. I am going to go into my afternoon meetings, and I'm just now realizing that I left myself 10 minutes to get some lunch. So that's not great. My bad. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, welcome, Hannah. Time to see the cat. It's really fun doing these streams. I feel like I can be super productive in them. Like, even though we obviously watched the keynote and I'm talking to the chat as well. Yeah, it's just nice to be able to have focus time to get stuff done. Because I'm not like distracting myself with other tasks or like going and checking Slack and things because I know that you're all watching and hanging out with me. Okay, Nora is sick of being in this room now too. So we're going to go now and have some lunch. Have a good rest of your day and I'll see you in a future stream. Bye. Whoa.